This is the Palin Update on Mama Grizzly Radio. I'm Kevin Scholla in the new full Battle Rattle Studios.
Judge Moore, he knows the fundamentals. He's got the fundamentals. Rule of law, no illegal immigration, no bad trade deals, and the importance of God and our shared American culture and our heritage.
A big election in Alabama. Sarah Palin is out campaigning for Judge Roy Moore, who is in a primary battle with the incumbent Luther Strange. Today, we head to Alabama to bring you Governor Palin's speech in support of Judge Moore. It is a powerful presentation from the Mama Grizzly. Stay tuned for Sarah Palin from Alabama. Plus, we'll hear from the candidate, Judge Moore, as he speaks as well. We'll also have the latest national and Alaska headlines in Sarah Palin news. We'll visit the Crow's Nest with Tanya Crow in California. And a brand new installment of Liberty and Legacy with Tamara Colbert is coming up from Texas. Welcome to the Palin Update on Mama Grizzly Radio, available at mamagrizzlyradio.com and now available at sarahpalin.com by clicking the More tab. The Palin Update is sponsored by Full Battle Rattle. Full Battle Rattle, helping veterans suffering from combat-related disabilities through the healing power of music. Learn more at facebook.com/fullbattlerattle.abq. This past week, Sarah Palin hit Alabama to stump for Judge Roy Moore. Palin hoping to drain the swamp, and this would be a step in the right direction. Right now, Mama Grizzly Radio is proud to bring you Sarah Palin's powerful speech and some comments from Judge Moore as well. Now, here she is, Governor Sarah Palin.
Hello, Alabama. Roll Tide and War Eagle. Yep. It is so nice to get to be here, really, and to pretty much thaw out. It was already getting chilly at home when we left last night. Snow on the mountains. So I was so happy to get to land here and not a snowflake in sight. It's good to be here, though, home of some certainly great football champions and great patriots. And your former Senator Jeff Sessions and the next Senator of the great United States will be represented by Judge Roy Moore, coming from Alabama, thanks to you. You know, I followed the judge's career for many years. And you know, he was deplorable before deplorable was cool. He's always been an inspiration through these years. So are you ready to send the loudest message that you can send to D.C. at this time? The loudest message to the swamp. Are you ready to tell them, here comes the judge? We need you, Alabama. Alabama, remember it was here in 2015 that Senator Sessions defied the political establishment when he put his support behind a long-shot candidate who promised to make America great again. It was here that Sessions, remember, he put on that white cap, make America great again, and he declared, this isn't a campaign, this is a movement. And that movement grew from about 10,000 Alabama folk to tens of millions of Americans who had said, enough is enough, the status quo has got to go. It grew, and it roared, and it rumbled, and it shocked the world in November. The forgotten man and woman in this country, they stood up, and we beat the swamp. But alas, 10 months later, guys, the swamp, it's trying to hijack this presidency. The swamp is trying to steal the victory that we worked so long and hard for. To steal the victory that a lot of us put our reputations on the line for. We voted to put America first, not the political elite that had ignored us for decades. We voted for a big, beautiful wall, not more amnesty deals. We voted for local control of education, not for candidates who are loving on Common Core and want big government to produce more Common Core. That is just strange. We voted to get rid of Obamacare, as we'd been promised for 8 years. We didn't vote for Mitch McConnell to fumble the football yet again and just shrug and say, well, sorry, I guess it's here to stay. Right now, though, the D.C. swamp, knowing that we had been promised some very specific things in 2015, 2016, promised these things, knowing that we're coming to collect, well, they're not taking it well. The Uniparty, the swamp, they're trying to convince the president that, well, he doesn't have to deliver on his promises. Trying to make him think, if he just runs some more weird gadget plays, well, maybe he'd be more popular in the grandstands, and then he'd win the big game. Now, what they're saying is, President, cave on amnesty for illegal aliens. That's what they're telling him. They're saying, rethink the climate accord. They're saying, pal around with Chuck and Nancy, because Schumer and Pelosi, yeah, they got your six. That's what they're saying. They're whispering, don't build the wall. But you all in Alabama know that trick plays, they may razzle-dazzle, but it is the time-tested fundamentals, like an impenetrable defense and a sound running game, that's what wins championships. Judge Moore, he knows the fundamentals. He's got the fundamentals. Rule of law, no illegal immigration, no bad trade deals, and the importance of God and our shared American culture and our heritage. Judge Moore is going to defend our interests with the same still spine that he defended those 10 commandments. And by the way, I don't think there's any cooler nickname you could have than the 10 Commandment Judge. That's a badge of honor. Judge Moore is a man of principle, and what he says, when he says it, he's going to do it. Take it to the bank. And that's why we need him in D.C. right now. A vote for Judge Moore isn't a vote against the president. It is a vote for the people's agenda that elected the president. It's for this big, beautiful movement that we're all a part of. The president needs support to keep the promises that elected him. So we're sending Trump someone who has our back, not Mitch McConnell's. That's the takeaway. Someone who has the people's back. Make no mistake, Big Luther is Mitch McConnell's guy. Big Luther is, and this is strange to me, this is strange. Big Luther getting the job of the temporary Senate seat, being handed the job by the politician who's now gone because of corruption, whatever, being handed the job by the politician he was to be investigating. I don't know what you guys call it. Up in Alaska, we'd call it quid pro quo, which I think is an old Eskimo term for that what fertilizes the swamp. No more swamp creatures. The swamp doesn't want to be drained. And they're snarling and they're biting back and they're using every dirty trick in the book to smear the judge, and they're dumping millions and millions of dollars in this state to spread lies. And they're afraid. They should be afraid. Because why? The judge is a threat to their power. Because he's on our side. He's on our side. And they know it. And they know that he's not one of them. To them, it's doggone it. And to us, it's like, oh, you betcha. Yeah, he's not one of them. So they know that they can't control him. He answers to you. Justice Sessions had answered to Alabama. Now, thankfully, you all get to send the loud, clear message to Washington, to the swamp. On Tuesday, you get to tell them, hey, our movement isn't over, and it's not slowing down. Our movement is still roaring and rumbling across this country, and we will not be the forgotten man and woman. And we will not be satisfied with more broken promises from Republicans who campaign one way and they govern another. Here's the beauty of this, Alabama. When you send Judge Moore to D.C., he's going to be an inspiration for the rest of the country, for other candidates across the country to rise up and take on their own swamp creatures in their own states. This movement gained steam here with Trump and Sessions. It's going to continue here Tuesday when you vote for the judge. The swamp can't win here. This is our red line. Just you watch. Drain that swamp. This is our line in the sand. Alabama, our line in the sand. The eyes of the entire nation are on you. You can show Washington how to win. Show them how to keep their promises. And together we can show them how to make America great again. Alabama, your next United States Senator, Judge Roy Moore.
Y'all are a good-looking crowd, now I'm going to tell you that. Thank you very much. This was a wonderful evening, and I'm glad to get this past us. We got 4 more days, and then the Tuesday, I hope everybody's going to vote. Tuesday, we haven't won, but thank you very much for coming out tonight, and I'm humbled by following Saran Stacy and Dr. Gorsuch and Dr. and Sarah Palin. I'm not the speaker that they are. I'm not near as pretty as she is. But thank y'all for coming. Remember, this is a very important election. I don't know that other people realize that, but everybody in Washington, as I said tonight, is watching this election. I don't have their vision of how it's going to affect America, but they're watching for the 2018 senatorial elections coming up. And they see that this could bring a change in our direction of the country. So this is a very important election. And I appreciate y'all being here tonight very much. When we started this, we never imagined what we'd have to go through. But God's brought us through. Without God, I was given the opportunity the other day, and I was talking about the division in our society. Black and white, red and yellow. And I probably got some reporters here, they're going to repeat that. And I was thinking of the song, red and yellow, black and white, they're precious in his sight. Jesus loves the little children of the world. They don't know that in some parts of this country. They're so politically correct, they've become politically stupid. We need to bring back the understanding of God, morality, and the Constitution of the United States. And that's what we're going to do. As I said tonight, I know that y'all have watched that already, but we can be great again. But the one thing politicians don't talk about is how we're going to be good again. And we can't be good till the heart changes. And God is the author of that. So we're going to stand for one nation under God, and we're going to bring it back to Washington, D.C. They don't want to hear the truth up there. Not everybody. Some want to hear the truth, but there's a lot that don't. And we're going to bring it back, and I thank y'all for your support. Go to roymore.org if you have any questions about my campaign. And I know y'all came to see Sarah Palin. That's why I came. But God bless you, and y'all have a good evening. Thank you.
Great stuff from Alabama. For more on the Judge Moore campaign, please visit roymore.org. Now it's time for Sarah Palin News, headlines, and more about Governor Palin. Happy birthday to our friend Shay, a beautiful soul and amazing photographer. Donald J. Trump is lucky to have you by his side. North Korea responds to Trump's UN speech. God bless our soldiers, sailors, and Marines. How about some respect for our flag and for our country? Palin is thrilled to be in the heartland attending the Moms March with Candy Carson, Sam Sorbo, and Missy Robertson. It's all about more momentum. Sarah Palin asks Alabama to vote for Judge Moore, saying, Alabama, please send this warrior to drain the swamp this coming Tuesday, September 26th. Thank you, Alabama. A vote for Judge Roy Moore isn't a vote against our president. It's a vote for the movement that elected him. Hashtag drain the swamp. Big Luther has big problems. And Governor Palin saying, Willow and I are wheels up headed to Montgomery, Alabama to rally for Judge Roy Moore. Hope to see you there. Also, a big thank you to Governor Palin for featuring my story on President Trump and mental health. To read about all of these stories, please visit the Mama Grizzly Radio Facebook page. To see any of the governor's posts in their entirety and to read her devotionals, you can visit Sarah Palin's Facebook page, follow her on Twitter at Sarah Palin USA, and don't miss the new sarahpalin.com. Now let's head to the crow's nest. Here's Tanya Crow.
Thanks, Kevin. So I'm with a bunch of girls on a girls' trip in Mammoth, and we were all joking and kidding with each other because sometimes we can be so insane. And what we mean by insane or insanity is when you keep doing the same things over and over, expecting different results. And we're all guilty of it. And it made me think about this country. This country was founded by people who were willing to do something different. It's an experiment, people have said, and it makes sense. It's not a democracy, it's a republic. And there's certain changes and foundational differences that were made by the founders. For instance, an electoral college for the executive federal elections so that there was as much equality for the entire country as possible versus a straight democratic vote. They had the vision that this country and its massive growth would have different populations, and they wanted everyone to be as represented as possible. So when you hear the quote-unquote progressives talk about being futuristic and modernizing, they do the complete opposite. They try to drag this country back into old patterns that have existed for thousands of years in Europe and in the world around. And how elections work is just one example. Hearing Hillary Clinton say with such ignorance that it's so funny to have my European friends tell me how silly it is that we have this electoral college. And it's asinine because we know that this country as a republic has a different way of doing things. And it has proven itself to be the one country that most people and citizens of other countries want to be a part of. And there's so many other examples. Socialism. We've seen it time and time and time again. We're seeing it in Venezuela because it faithfully implemented socialism, as President Trump so beautifully stated. There's so many examples time and time again of this insanity on the left of trying to bring ideas and governances that have been done and tried and don't work. And so here we are once again in a fight to stop the insanity. This is Tanya Crow with Mama Grizzly Radio.
Tanya Crow on Mama Grizzly Radio. More from the Crow's Nest next week.
Now, the Palin Update with Kevin Scholla presents Liberty and Legacy. Here's Tamara Colbert.
Why isn't Congress doing anything? They're sitting on their hands. There has been a lack of action on multiple levels, whether it's tax reform, the refusal to confirm federal judges, dealing with immigration, building the wall, and now John McCain completely going against the party and not wanting to repeal Obamacare. You'd think with a Republican president and a Republican majority, we would see more action on reversing the detrimental impact of the Obama presidency. You might think we would see great strides in advancing more conservative policies and holding press conferences every day to talk about the great things we're doing to put more money in the pockets of Americans, to do more for protecting the American worker like building the wall, to do more for elevating Americans at every level. But really, Congress isn't doing much of anything because Congress is still full of establishment people, members who scuttle every attempt to change the status quo. They like the swamp, people. They love the swamp. They are more concerned with political slogans than actually fighting for the principles and the America that you and I believe in. We can look at John McCain. And almost enough said. All I have to do is say his name and you know what I'm talking about. Because the only thing this guy's ever done right is choose Governor Sarah Palin as his running mate in 2008. In fact, the fact that he got as many votes as he did isn't because of anything he's ever done. The fact he got as many votes as he did is solely because of this wonderful, amazing woman and what she did to energize the American people. And now, McLean plans on voting no to the Obama repeal and replacement. This is the second time he's saved Obamacare. But the last thing I remember President Obama saying is that elections have consequences. So if John McCain is worried that we don't have any Democrats supporting it, I just have to say the Democrats have a choice, like just what President Obama told Republicans. They can join or die out, just like the dinosaurs. That's how this works. We won, they lost. Not sure how much more plain this can get, but all I know is if I lived in Arizona, I would have launched the hashtag repeal McCain efforts within 5 minutes of his prognostication and snarky press conference announcing his lack of support for this bill. He's a traitor to his constituents and the party and our nation, quite frankly. Where is the GOP chairwoman, by the way? Why isn't she saying anything? I hear nothing. Crickets. I don't know about you, but I'm really getting tired of crickets and the lack of response from anyone in the GOP level, at the national level from the GOP. I certainly am proud of former Pennsylvania Senator Rick Santorum for working on this bill behind the scenes for more than 6 months. He still believes this bill is going to get passed. He even is convinced there's several Democrats who are supporting the bill behind the scenes and helping out. The point isn't that this is the best bill ever. The point is this is as good as it's going to get right now with the boobs we've got in the Congress and the Senate. That's why we need Judge Roy Moore in Alabama. Can you imagine that every Republican legislator on Capitol Hill, every single one, has campaigned since 2010, made millions of dollars for their campaigns and re-elections on the full repeal of Obamacare, and now when they had the chance, they have completely dropped the ball on the 1 yard line? It's disgusting. Where is the will for us, the people, the constituents? Even progressive Bill Maher knows that Obamacare was a redistribution of power and income and actually came out this week on his show talking about that. This is what today's progressives are all about. The redistribution of our wealth, confiscation of our property and guns, elimination of God from our nation, and taking power from the people and the states. The difference between conservatives and progressives is that the progressives never tire of the fight. They eat it, they sleep it, they breathe it. And what conservatives view as sacrifice, progressives see it as their will to win and to fundamentally transform our nation into nothing more than a third world dictatorship. Let's be clear, draining the swamp is going to be a long, hard slog through stink, slime, and maggot-infested murky water. It's going to get ugly. Are you up for it? I am. I want it so bad. I wake up every day ready to engage the swamp every day. Progressives have known their timeline was 100 years or more. Conservatives always tend to think they've got it with an election or two and they can go back to business as usual. This has to change. This is the fight of the ages, for as long as we live. And we must pass this fight and this thirst for liberty and freedom and protection of the America that we love to our children and grandchildren and, if God willing, our great-grandchildren. For the rest of our lives, we must remain vigilant, positive, and proactive in protecting our Constitution and freedom. We might be on defense right now, but all it takes is a forced fumble and we've got the ball and can go on offense. The time is now because the progressives are weak. Their offense is tired from being on the field so long. They're old from the years of fighting. They have no new ideas, and the fact that they've confiscated all this other wealth, amassed their own power, now they're greedy, fat, happy, and sloppy, and we are gaining the edge. We, the people, are gaining the edge. We can so do this. God's got this. We're on the ground, and we must keep going. I'm in it to win it. You can tweet me this week at Tamara Colbert, hashtag Mama Grizz Radio. I will never give up. I will never surrender and stop fighting. We need to bring in Judge Roy Moore in Alabama. We need to get Jeff Flake out in Arizona and elect Kelly Ward as the next senator. We need to get out these freedom-killing big government Republicans and Democrats. It is time to raise up people, men and women who love this nation and who are ready to do everything they can to turn it around. I'm Tamara Colbert for Mama Grizzly Radio.
Tamara Colbert in Texas. Tune in for more liberty and legacy next week. And to learn about Convention of States, head to conventionofstates.com. The Palin Update, including Liberty and Legacy and The Crow's Nest, is on demand and available for download. So just head to mamagrizzlyradio.com, pick the show you want to hear, and you can listen anywhere, anytime. Well, that'll just about do it for this edition of the Palin Update on Mama Grizzly Radio. Visit mamagrizzlyradio.com for continuing coverage of Governor Palin. Also available at sarahpalin.com by clicking the More tab. Also like Mama Grizzly Radio on Facebook and follow us on Twitter at Mama Grizz Radio, at Kevin Scholla, at Tamara Colbert, at Tanya Yoga 13, and at FBR ABQ. And I'm doing some writing for Breitbart News. Go to breitbart.com/columnists/Kevin-Scholla. I'm also contributing to sarahpalin.com. Please check out my latest piece this week. Visit sarahpalin.com/author/Kevin-Scholla. I'm honored to be working on the governor's new site. I want to thank Tamara Colbert, Tanya Crow, and everyone here at Mama Grizzly Radio. Thanks to Governor Palin, Judge Moore, and the great people of Alabama. And thank you for listening today. A special thanks to our sponsor, Full Battle Rattle. Visit facebook.com/Full Battle Rattle, ABQ. The Palin Update is produced by Lena Anderson, the Andy L. Kramer, and Lori Ann Lewis. Please be sure to join us again next time for another edition of the Palin Update on Mama Grizzly Radio. I'm Kevin Scholla. Have a pleasant day.